Should probably talk about the first time I met Martin, really, shouldn't I? How we became friends. I think the first time I met him was at the. I think this is before you became involved with all of like us, like the music scene. Obviously, we were friends and that, but it was when I was in Endless Summer and we did the Hawaiian Encore festival thing that they did, like an Encore Day festival Hawaiian theme thing. And we all rocked up there, and it was like this was like the Scunny music scene was all fresh. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Like it was around. There was like 200 people like, rammed into Encore, and I was in the. I know we told the story in the film as like a joke. Like I remember when I met Martin the first time, but it was legit. Like we was outside in the back, and I think like Lizzie Goddard was doing a set of something, and all of a sudden, I heard Bash kind of go on stage and was doing like I heard him talking on stage, and I had Ian Daniel talking on stage. And next thing I know, they start playing Hero or something. I'm sure it's Hero. It obviously probably was going to be Hero, wasn't it? And then someone started singing. It was like, who the fuck's that? And you go inside and that. And Martin's on stage. I was like, don't know who this guy is, but this is great. And at first we was like, is he serious or not? And then you could tell he was, but in like the most light-hearted manner ever. Like he was just loving it. And then, so that was the first time I met him. I didn't really meet him properly. I think I was pissed. I went and I was like, that was amazing, mate. And he gave me his business card outside. And it was that, what was it on it? Had he spelled entertainment wrong or something? Or there was something, I've got his business card somewhere. He had the generic standard disco DJ business card. It was that. And he'd put something on it like I think it's entertainment. Like you put mant instead of men. Entertainment. Like that. Martin Morgan, karaoke disco, entertainment. I was like, this is amazing. And then after that, we'd gone, because we used to do the Priory Jam nights on Wednesday nights, and he'd done, I'd seen Ian Daniel in town in the day, me and Amy had seen him, and he said, oh, my mate Martin's coming tonight, but I'm not going to be there till whatever time, and he doesn't know anyone, so do you mind, like, hanging out with him? I was like, yeah, that's fine. And I can't remember if Amy came out, but whatever. And we'd gone and we'd met him, and he was fine. He didn't need, everyone was like, all right, Martin, all right, mate, and that. And he was like, he was fine. He didn't need anyone to stand with him at all. I think he was just a bit worried because he didn't know anyone now, but Martin didn't give a damn. And so he was like, kind of, and that's, I think, how we started coming up, like, making friends and stuff with, like, the jam nights and stuff. And then I was having a look on it, and I found, I think, if it was at the start, we did a gig at the Lincoln Imp, and there was Endless Summer, Ian Daniel, and whoever else playing in that. And so Ian was doing his set, and he was doing a song. I can't remember what it was, one of his originals, and he said, "Oh, can we get some backing singers up in that?" So like I think me and Amy got up, and Martin and some others had got up. Yeah, so Martin had got up on one side with a couple of people, and me and Amy got up on the other side with a couple of people, and was doing this sing off thing, and Martin was proper going for it and that. So Ian's like, they've won, and Martin's like, yes. So I was like, I'm not having it. I was like, dance off. So Ian starts doing a song, so me and Martin do a dance off and that, and I'm like doing my best in that, but you can see there's like photos of Martin like gyrating on the floor and proper going for it, like, and it was like that was one of the first times we really started having a thing there. So it would be like every time we'd have dance offs and stuff like that, and I think after that we went to Priory, and that by this time I was levered, and I think it was the first time me and Matt really started talking, because I found him hilarious, the fact that if he prodded him or poked him, he squeaked. I was pissed. I was like, oh my god, it's great. But we started talking, he was telling me all this stuff, and that it was great. And I think from there, and then he started coming to jam nights even when Ian wasn't there, and we'd start doing all like the backing songs from him and stuff. And then what have we done? And he wanted us to get him some backing tracks. I remember me and Bash sitting learning songs for him and downloading backing tracks for him, and then the gig. I think that's how we just kind of started just becoming friends through jam nights and stuff. And I don't know if we started hanging around or not, out of music or anything. I don't think we went to pub or anything. We might have done. I think that's when we started kind of maybe like meeting up at pub here and there to like discuss music or whatever. And then he'd said he wanted to do a gig. And I think because we started doing them at jam nights here and there, we said, oh, we'll do a gig at Lincoln Imp. We said we'd do a gig at Lincoln Imp. So we started learning these songs, and we got there was me on guitar, Bash on guitar, and then I think Will Nicklin on bass or whatever. I think that's everyone that was in it. Yeah, at the first time. So we said we'd do that, and we got this gig ready for the Lincoln Imp, and I can't remember who. I think it was like a thing that he put on, that Nick had put on, and Ian. I think was Ian there. Well, I can't remember. Ian was there or something, and so we went up on stage and we did this thing. We started playing like. And obviously, this isn't what they would expect to happen, but everyone had come to see Martin perform because he built up such a big like little following at the jam nights and that. Everyone wanted to come and see him do a proper gig, so they all rocked up in that, and like all the lights went out, smoke filled the stage and that, and Martin's outside. So we started playing that, and the doors burst open, and Martin walks in through the middle of the crowd. It's like the most amazing. There's like lights flashing, lasers everywhere. And Martin just walking in like, "Hello, Lincoln," with his wireless mic, and he gets on stage, and we do this amazing set. And every time we like the 1, 2, 3 jump drop, it cuts to black, and like it's great. And then it became the thing. We did it again at Encore, and then we did it again at Encore. They did like a Halloween festival. We did it there, and it became like the thing to do, Martin and the Entertainers and stuff. And obviously, and the summer split up. Went into Hello Bandit, and then we went to Ramble Gamble, and I think so. That I think after that, we did all that kind of stuff and that, and then after that, that's when we came up with the idea for the film. Because I remember when I think that's when Martin just kind of came and hung around with us. And I remember we was at the pub one night with I think there's me and Matt. I think Ash Palm was there, Martin was there, and that, and we were drinking that, and we was like, wouldn't it be amazing if we did a film? And we said so we sat down, and I think I don't have them on there, but on my old phone I've got pages of notes on my phone, and I don't know if it passed over in that at all, but let's have a look. That'd be on my old one. And I had pages of notes for the next day. I looked at it, and we just started coming up with idea after idea of like, we could do this or we could do that. Wouldn't it be amazing? And we literally wrote the film in the night, like just there. And Martin thought, "You're going to do a film about me? It's be amazing." But at first it was like he wanted it to be about like proper, and we was like, "Well, no, we'll do it a bit silly because then it's like you can do anything with it." And when he was like, "Anything you say," it's like, "Well, yeah, it can be like." It can be like a comedy, and it can have serious bits in it, and it can have all sorts and that, and it can be kind of based on you. He's like, "Let's do that. We could do trailers for it. We could have posters," and it was like, "Oh shit, this could happen." And that's when we brought you in.
Yeah, actually, the first time I met Martin was filming a Lasting Light session and we took him after he did a spot at Abacus, and we took him down to the bottom end of town. And Martin drove us there. Chris Welburn, that was it. Yeah, he drove us down to the bottom end of town. And the first sort of thing Martin ever said to me, as I took out my camera, was like, "Oh, is that it?" I'm like, "Yes, Martin, this is what I saved up all my money for to buy." You're treating it like it's some sort of tennis ball or something. But the first time I ever saw him was a video on your laptop. No, yeah. The first time I saw him was on your iPad, and he was at the Priory. It was some jam night, and I think he was singing "Dance the Night Away." and you said you got to look at this guy. And I remember looking at this video of this chubby little man singing in a high-pitched voice and doing his like dance, and then doing his famous jump and stop the song.
1, 2, 3,
4. Boom. Well, I remember seeing that and just thinking, right, okay, who is this guy? And then I met him there. But then when I first went to his house, I was filming the trailer, the Prometheus trailer, when we started making the movie. And that was hard work because we kind of devastated his kitchen, hanging stuff up. It was
really tight before, wasn't it?
The problem was trying to get Martin to stand still to film the trailer, because Martin didn't stand still ever, and we wanted him to just stand there looking mean into the camera. And he was so confused why I was like filming his feet.
It's like we're going to film up and rise up, and then we'll get to your face and it'll be like a big climax. Oh, climax. Oh. Because he was terribly dirty. contrary to popular belief, Martin was terribly dirty. Filthy Martin.
Because even when you watch the trailer, as it gets up to his face, because of the expression he's pulling, the camera kind of jerks a little bit because I was just laughing. This little face he was pulling.
And with this trailer, because we come up with the Prometheus trailer, so it was like that dun, dun.
It's a film about me.
At the end, because we did the rise up and that, and we had to get him to clench his fists at the right time, and then just stare into the camera and that. And then it was oh, it's a film about me. That laugh, that. Oh,
It's a film about me.
oh, oh. Martin just laugh. Ha 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 ha.
It's a film about me.
It's like, for God's sake, there must be a million and one of those. Just put them in. It's just like, oh, it's a film about me. Now Martin, do it naturally. Oh, he couldn't get it. Well, we did obviously get it in the end and that. That was great. That was great.
I remember the time that he came to watch us at the Crown. Came to watch the band, and he got up on stage and started dancing with us. And, and Tony wanted him to move across to the other side so he could have more room. But Martin thought it told him off. So he kind of went down these stairs off the stage looking really sad and sulky because he couldn't carry on dancing up on the stage with us.
We showed him Piranha 3D. And he, at first he was kind of like, oh, bloody hell, fish biting, and oh, don't like this. And then Kelly Brook came into it. Hey, your lads, who's this? That Kelly Brook? She doing in this? And then it got she stood there like pushing it together, and he's like, oh, what the hell? And then the naked underwater ballet scene. Hey, your lads.
Oh, lads, look at this video I found. And it was basically him dancing in front of this little animated background.
And he's like, his self-walk song with him was like, what you doing? Oh.
Oh, I could hide neath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm will never ring, but it rings and her eyes wipe the sleep out of my eyes.
I remember you saying it can't get any better than this. And literally just you said that, another Martin Morgan appears.
Cheer up, sleepy cheek. Oh, how can it be to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? You once thought of me as a white knight on the steed. Now you know how happy I can be.
Yeah, no. And then, he liked stuff like that.
I remember filming the night before Christmas. And he was quite smug about it because you and Matt kept ballsing up your lines, and he's just stood in his kitchen waiting for the cue dressed as Santa And every time we cut, he's like, well, it's not me that keeps forgetting my lines. And then stood there while you're trying to do your lines. And on one of the bloopers, Matt looks at him and starts laughing. And he looks at you and Paul's like, he's making me laughing, like, Martin, pack it in. And then he tries to do something else. And you're like, right, that's it. And you like dart off.
But then I remember when it's Charlie's birthday. See, Charlie's this is a great one. When it was Charlie's birthday, and the idea was I said to Matt, what we'll do is because Charlie's over the weekend. I said, well, for a birthday, I said me and Matt and Charlie will come round. You know, we was like me and Matt and both said we'll come round Martin's and we can watch some films, have some cake, and have a pizza or whatever, have Chinese or something. So it's like, all right, nice. Because we started doing that when Charlie come over, we'd go around Martin's, we'd get takeaways, something, watch some films, and then just hang out if we weren't gigging or whatever. And so we said we'd do it. So me and Martin went to Asda to get her a cake and get her some presents and stuff. And we got her a pug cake, right? So we bought this pug cake, and I got her some whiskey. And I said to Matt, I was like, right, let's get this for her. She likes owls. So we got like a Fisher Price owl, but like a sensory toy. So if you press the button in the middle, it's like a warm light with like a nice little jingle to it. And it was like, for like 3+ or like 1+ or whatever. She like this. Oh, she likes owls. Oh, it's perfect then. And then so we wrapped him up in that, and then took Charlie to Martin's, picked her up and went there. And then was like, right, I got some presents for you and that. So we got like this cake. We got the cake out, and Martin's like, it's an owl. It's a pug, Martin. You said it was an owl. No, Martin, this is the pug. And I think he was like, so what's the... Oh. So I was like, here you go, Charlie. Drinking the whiskey, amazing. And Martin's like... See, the real thing is, right, I did this. I tried to set Martin up. Because I want Charlie to genuinely think that Martin had bought a child's toy, right? And then I was going to be like, ha, it's a joke, it was me all along, right? He gives her this present, she opens it, she thinks it's the best thing ever. And Martin's like, yes, I thought you would like that. Martin's like, I bought it myself. I was thinking, I bought that! I bought it for him to give to her as a joke. Cost me like 12 quid. And Martin's like, yes, I bought that for you because I thought you'd like it.
It's no secret that for some reason I seem to jinx cars and don't appear to have them for very long. And I didn't have a car, but I needed to meet a client about filming a wedding. And they lived out near Grimsby, and I really needed it. And I took a big chance and sort of asked Martin, and he was talking to me about it. He says, well, just borrow my car. I was like, what? I can't borrow your car. Well, yeah, just take my car, it'll be fine. And I was like, well, my God. And I remember just saying, like, I can't thank you enough for, like, and he goes, no, don't worry, that's what friends are for. And that stayed with me, that, because, like, this year, this August, I'll be filming that wedding, so that's going to be another thing that'll be quite difficult to do. But yeah, it was a nice thing. I had a habit of being incredibly nice to his friend. He was very generous with his friends.
I see, that's still one of my favourite photos. I think this is when we did this night at Wortley Hotel, doing like a charity night for, because this is a great one, this. Did a night at the Wortley Hotel for Vicky Barrett. This is when we first met Vicky Barrett. So like before that we'd go to the pub, and I went to the pub at one point, went to Warren Lodge, and I did this burger challenge, and Martin couldn't get over the fact that this burger was so big. And then when he got his put down in front of me, it was massive as well. He was just like, oh, bugger! Like, oh my God. And on the night, we got to this charity thing, and like we'd done our little bit, and then we was like, right, Martin's here. Martin's going to come up and do a few songs. And Vicky was still kind of getting to know Martin. She kind of understood him by this point. So I started going on stage and that. And I'm like, right, he's here. And he literally got there to the minute he had to be on stage. So I go up and I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the one, the only, the entertainer, Martin Morgan. Everyone's like looking at, who the fuck's Martin Morgan? And then Martin strolls in, just like, what is that? Like, someone's up on stage, everyone's like, what on earth is going on? And it only took the first 30 seconds of the first song before everyone was like, I get it. You know what I mean? They clicked and they loved it. There was like these couple of beatboxers that had come from Manchester, like these proper big blokes and that, they loved him. They thought he was amazing. Like, and he was like, because everyone found him funny, but they kind of got that. It wasn't like, haha, laugh at him. It was just enjoyment. It wasn't like, you know, oh, look at this guy. It was, everyone got him. You know, I mean, that's what's different about him and some of the, because you get some people that like, they think they can sing and they're not that good, and everyone's like, ha ha ha. Whereas Martin could sing, but he was funny as well because of how he was. You know what I mean? His accent, his voice, the high pitch, the movements, the gyrating, the thrusting, the jokes, everything about him was comedy gold, but he was also very good. And there's one photo as well that you're gonna have to put up. I can't remember who was on stage at this point. It might have even been us. I think we were on. And he's doing this dance, and credit where credit's due, Kathleen Devine got one of the best photos I've ever seen of Martin. I mean, I don't know if the camera can see it, but you have to put it up. But it's just that kind of, it's like a snake.
It's a proper Martin pose, isn't
Literally is a Martin pose, isn't it? It's amazing.
I suppose that I could really talk about when he had his Britain's Got Talent audition, because he asked me to go. Me and Vicky Barrett went down to Birmingham with him, and he told us that his audition was at like 11 o'clock in the morning. Oh no, 1:30. He told us his audition was at 1:30, and he was going to pick us up at 9 in the morning so we could get there in time. And when we got there and signed all these waivers and things and walked into like the holding room, that's when it appeared that Martin really wasn't going to be auditioned at 1:30. He straight away was skipped off doing TV interviews. And generally we didn't really see him. We just hung around with all these really strange acts. We basically spent all day in Birmingham waiting for him to his audition, and we eventually got sent down to the auditorium and had to go through these horrible acts. And I remember the act before him was a duo, and they sung this really great song, and it was proper gave you goosebumps. And we knew that Martin was the next act on, and I was like, how is he going to follow that? And on the cameras you could see the off-camera, like with Ant and Dec, and I could see this little Martin Morgan talking to Ant and Dec, and he was saying something, and you could just see Ant and Dec were just wetting themselves laughing because he just proper got them right in the palm of his hand. And they introduced the next act, and Martin sort of walked on as, you know, the swag that Martin had, and introduced himself and had a bit of banter with the judges, and then he went and did this audition, and it was one of those things where I remember sitting there, and they mic'd me up as well. They mic'd me and Vicky up just in case we said anything, and I remember sat there watching this audition, and I don't know how he did it, but he just got the entire audience with him from the off. And when the song finished, he got a standing ovation and everything, and I remember turning to Vicky and saying, I love that man, and then thinking, I've just said that over a microphone. I'm like, they ever show this? And they were like, I'll go down in history as the man who said he loved Martin Morgan on national TV. But then it was over. We're like, oh great, now we can go home. Now we had to go and do more interviews, and then it got to about, I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and all the crew were going, do you guys need a hotel? We'll put you up in a hotel if you know, like, no, I need to get back. And Martin did his usual, like, well, I'll buy you a McDonald's for coming out with me, and I've got through. So people were like waiting outside for him to sign his autograph, and really weird. It was proper. It was, well, eventually it was like he'd proper made it, and I'll never forget that, because I thought I could never have stood up in front of an audience like that and be that confident. I don't know where he got that from. It's on another level. I mean, it's like one of the last few messages I've got. We was talking about his recording studio that he set up. And he was talking about naming it. I said, you need to get a Facebook page, Martin, and get it set up and get going. And he said, well, I'm just trying to think of a name. And we'd come up with the idea of Appleby Road Studios. And he was like, no, because then people will know where I live. I'm like, not quite. But he,
What did they need?
but he kind of came out with these suggestions like Star Studios, no, MM Studios, and Broadway Studios. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. And then just a little thumbs up.
So what lasting impression did Martin leave on me? I don't know. You can say the whole he was inspirational, he inspired me to be this, be that, and all that. But I think because we never really looked at him as anyone as different or as like it was just another person. Not just another person, but he was just a mate to us. He wasn't like the people that don't know him might go, oh, is this, is that, is, you know, but for us it was Martin, he was his mate. So I don't know. I think, I suppose in that respect, he kind of taught us to just just be yourself for everyone, because he was, like, with Martin, there was obviously, I think with him, he's the only person I've ever known to be the most genuine, he genuinely is the most genuine person I've ever met, because he was the same with everyone. He didn't become a different person with different people. He didn't because with some people, you're really good friends with them, and then they start hanging around with other people, and when the other people are around, they're a bit of a dick or they're a bit different or whatever. And Martin wasn't like that. He was Martin with everyone. You know, and he had his own, I word it. He had his own way of looking at things. So he had a different outlook on things that other people didn't have. So he had a unique way of looking at things. And which is why I think he didn't understand some things. He tried to understand them in a certain way that we wouldn't necessarily understand them. So I think that's what I miss the most about him, because it's you could go to him and you could be like, what do you think of this? And he genuinely didn't know what his answer would be, because it could be different every time with every different thing. And you could, when you introduce him to new people, and it'd be something fresh and different for them, because they'd never met anyone like him, because no one ever met anyone like Martin, because he was different to everyone. Because obviously Leanne will never get to meet him, and people we've met now will never get to meet him, will never get to hear this, you know. And I think that's the worst bit, is you could write a song about what you think of this, Martin, and he'd be genuinely honest with you, he'd be blunt. I don't like it. It's like, oh right, okay. I worked slaved over for this for hours. But it's rubbish. You have to sing a pop song with me. But he was honest, you know. And it's it would have been nice for him to come around and chill out in my house, or come and knock on my door one night, I'm hanging out with you tonight. Oh, all right. But me and Leanne having a night in. Well, you know, it's payback time, boyo. You know what I mean? But yeah. When we used to go around and we'd pull up in Cheryl's car, would be outside, and we'd be like, uh-oh. Knock at the door, hi Martin, we've come to hang out. Oh, Cheryl's in. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah. I think that's the worst thing though, is you don't get to get his opinion on things, or you don't get to ask. We can't show him these films that we wanted to show him. He can't hear this music we wanted him to hear, and you know, like I say, he don't get to come around and hang out at my house. He doesn't get to meet my girlfriend. He doesn't get to, you know, see things that are going to happen, and that. I think that's the worst bit. But at the same time, it means that everything that he has seen has a special thing. It's like them crappy shark films now. For me, it's you know, I look forward to a new one's coming out, because it means I've watched crappy shark films and shit films I know I'm not gonna like, just because he would have watched them, and it's kind of I'm watching it for him, you know, or I don't mock and Enrique Iglesias or anything like that anymore, because it's he would have liked them, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. And it's I spoke to Cheryl a while ago about, and it's the feeling that you get. It's kind of nothing. It's things remind me of him, but then I'll be driving along, and he'll pop into my head, and it'll be it'll either be a really happy feeling, or like a kind of a sad, sickly film, but not like in a crying, depressing kind of way. Just like a like kind of like a sick feeling. But then there'll be it's like I said to Charlotte, it's not all sad though. Most of it's happy. The majority of it's like good times. I don't like when I think of him. I don't necessarily feel sad. You know, because it's like it's usually. I mean, how many bad memories did we have with him? None. No bad memories. So every time you think about him, it's usually happy. But then there's always that little kind of, like when the memories kind of happened, there's always a bit of I can't even explain the feeling. It's like an unpleasant feeling. But yeah, at least, you know, I suppose the last impression is all the memories. You know, that's what he's given us. Even though we only knew him for a couple of years, he obviously did. I mean, he obviously did a lot in those couple of years. You know, so he's given us 2 or 3 years of just, you know, with Martin. We got that's what it's almost like a gift to us. He was a gift to us. He gifted himself to us. You know, those memories were like, you know, we got to share that with him. So at least we got that. So yeah, we got the gift of Max. Because now everything that before didn't mean anything to me. Like them bloody pop songs that you liked, Achy Breaky Heart will come on, I'll be like, fucking Achy Breaky Heart. I'm like, what am I doing? Don't like that song. You know, Karma Chameleon comes. Karma Chameleon's the worst. It'll come on and it's like, with that song and Hero, with others than that, it's like kind of like, you know, Achy Breaky Heart, yeah, Dance That Way, yeah. But Karma Chameleon and Achy Breaky Heart, they come on and it's always like and like, it's kind of like, I don't want this to come on, not because I hate it, I quite happily listen to it, always kind of, I always hear him, I can't hear anyone but him singing Hero or Karma Chameleon now. Every time those songs come on, all I hear is his voice singing it. It's like, oh, you know, and then because I always get that feeling, I'm getting it now, that kind of churny, horrible feeling. But I don't necessarily feel sad. It's a feeling that you get in your stomach that's awful. But I don't necessarily feel, it's strange. Like I said, I don't know, I've cried like once, I've not been able to cry, I think that's been awful. That's the pain, is like I can't cry and it's like that pain. But I mean, it's been a year now and I think I've had the breakdown, but you know, it's difficult to deal with in that way because other people can cry and get it out and like let it out, and I've not been able to. Like when the days after, when everyone was around us and everyone was crying and kind of getting it out, and I was just like, I can't, you know. I'm like, how can I cry? I'm trying to make myself, I can't do it. So it's awful. It hurts. It's, you know, but at the same time, part of me doesn't want to because it's kind of like, well, no, cherish the memories and enjoy it rather than, you know, take pleasure in what's happened rather than mourn it. But it's difficult. Obviously, it's difficult not to mourn. But like we said, it was like the time that it happened was like a gift. So kind of trying to deal with it in that way, trying to take it as a gift and appreciate what we got rather than what we didn't get.
Martin, it's been nearly a year and yet it doesn't seem like 5 minutes ago that we was talking. Already it's been over a year since I saw you last, and when that memory popped up on my Facebook it hurt so much. In hindsight, I sit and think, if I had known then what I know now, I would have stressed to you how important it was to understand the risks. Yet hindsight is a cruel and vicious quality we have, almost as if we was putting us to mock us about how we should have dealt with things. I know you have watched over all of us, and I'm certain that there have been many things that have made you proud. Personally, I'm thankful to you for so many things. Thank you for making my dream a reality by performing at the Bass Hall. I've dreamt about that since I was 13 years old, when it was just a small venue, yet if you got to perform there, you truly had become a musician. You made that happen for me, and I can't thank you enough for that. Martin, you have been the subject of many of our conversations over the year, always filled with laughter, and we seem to hear funny stories from you that we've never known before. It seems like you really left us all with such fond memories that have made us smile, laugh, and fills us with tears as we realise even more that we miss you incredibly. I don't think I ever told you about the first time I ever saw you. Well, months before we met and started making your first trailer for your movie, Johnny said to me, "Mate, check out this guy who jammed with us at the Priory." He showed me this video on his iPad of you singing Dance the Night Away, and at the end you shouted 1, 2, 3, 4 before doing your famous jump to end the song. I loved it, and when we eventually met at your house, I instantly was drawn to your magnetic personality, and we became close friends from that day onwards. Most of our time was spent filming you for your movie, and boy, didn't we giggle. Some of the funniest memories I have are from those days. Other times we spent at your house just chatting and laughing, and of course the last time I saw you was at your house doing this very same. It was such a lovely last memory. We watched you wrestling. We watched wrestling with you, and you beat Johnny up. You really hit his arm too. Your movie was a massive success. People laughed so much and even laughed at parts that I never realised were funny. You wanted so much for everyone to see that movie, and I'm just so pleased that we had made some footage of you that we could include to finish the film. I hope we made you proud that day, mate. I just want you to know that despite only knowing you for a year and a half, I felt like I'd known you forever and cared deeply for you. As you say, that's what friends are for. Friends, Martin, you may have had bad luck with friends in your younger years, but in later life you had a wealth of friends that money could never buy. Be proud of what you achieved, Martin. You rocked our world, and we were and still are so very proud of you. You showed us that anything is possible. Be proud of your sister. She's worked her ass off to achieve her dreams and has come so far. And be proud of your mum, who has worked hard taking care of people, and your dad, and misses you so much. Be proud of your dad for being strong when everyone else was crumbling around him, and please give him the strength to still give life a go. I miss you so very much, and I'm proud to be your friend, and remember you in any way possible. Thank you for everything, my dearest friend, and I will love and miss you forever.